This production contains AI-generated content and may contain errors. My audiobooks.ai presents Svalbard Seed Vault, the Arctic backup for the world's crops. Imagine a place where the sun sets in November and does not rise again for almost 4 months. Here, in the absolute silence of the Arctic polar night, the freezing wind sweeps across a landscape of ancient rock and deep black water. It feels like the very edge of the world. Yet, deep inside a mountain slope in this desolate wilderness rests the genetic memory of global agriculture. Millions of seeds, representing thousands of years of human civilization, lie frozen in the dark. They are waiting in the silence for a day they might be needed to save us. At myaudiobooks.ai, you can create your own audiobooks from prompts, turn your documents into audio, all with one subscription, and store your items in your own personal library. This Fortress of Biodiversity is the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, located on the island of Spitsbergen in the remote Svalbard archipelago. To understand its isolation, you must look to the far north of the map. This icy outpost lies roughly 1,300 kilometers beyond the Arctic Circle, making it one of the northernmost permanently inhabited places on Earth. It is a land of extremes, defined by deep permafrost and long, dark winters. But this incredibly harsh environment is precisely why Svalbard was chosen. The vault serves a singular, critical purpose in a world facing unprecedented ecological and geopolitical pressures. Most agricultural crops rely on what scientists call orthodox seeds. These are seeds that can remain viable for decades, or even centuries, if they are kept completely dry and stored at temperatures well below freezing. Under these conditions, the biological clock of a seed slows to a crawl, preserving its genetic potential for generations. Before the seeds are shipped to Svalbard, they are dried to less than 5% moisture content and sealed inside airtight 3-ply foil packages. This process prevents moisture from entering and damaging the delicate genetic structures inside. The Svalbard facility is designed to exploit this natural science, offering an ultimate security duplication site. It is not an active distribution hub, nor does it replace the day-to-day work of traditional gene banks. Instead, it is a global backup system, holding duplicates of seeds that are already preserved in primary national and international gene banks around the world. These primary gene banks are the frontline defenders of crop diversity. However, they are highly vulnerable to localized crises, such as electrical grid failures, political instability, war, and natural disasters. By duplicating their collections and storing them in Svalbard, these institutions ensure a crucial backup. If a local catastrophe wipes out their primary seeds, the genetic lineage is not lost forever. This monumental task operates under a unique 3-party partnership. The physical facility is owned and was funded by the Kingdom of Norway through its Ministry of Agriculture and Food. Operations and the crucial database management are overseen by the Nordic Genetic Resource Center, commonly known as NordGen. The third partner is the Crop Trust, an international organization dedicated to funding and safeguarding global crop diversity. Together, these entities ensure that the vault remains operational, secure, and accessible to the global community. For depositing institutions, the arrangement is highly reassuring. The vault offers its protective services completely free of charge. Most importantly, the seeds are stored under what are known as black box conditions. When a country or institution sends its seeds to Svalbard, those seeds remain the sovereign property of the depositor. No one else can open the boxes, test the seeds, or withdraw them. The facility acts as a highly secure safety deposit box, leaving complete ownership in the hands of those who did the hard work of collecting and preserving them. This legal framework has built a profound level of international trust, allowing diverse nations to cooperate on a global scale. The human scale of this endeavor is felt in the quiet dedication of researchers and caretakers. Across the globe, scientists in remote research stations, developing nations, and historic agricultural universities spend their lives cataloging and harvesting wild crops and local landraces. When they ship these carefully packaged duplicates to Svalbard, they are sending their life's work to a silent sanctuary. The caretakers who monitor the facility must traverse icy mountain roads and brave polar winds. They ensure that the silence inside the mountain remains undisturbed and the global legacy of agriculture remains secure. The physical engineering of the sanctuary is a marvel of foresight, built to survive the tests of both nature and time. The vault consists of 3 massive storage chambers carved deep into a sandstone mountain, accessed through a tunnel stretching 390 feet into the rock. This specific depth shields the facility from disasters like earthquakes or nuclear strikes. It also keeps the storage halls high above any projected rise in global sea levels, even in extreme ice melt scenarios. To keep the seeds viable, the facility utilizes a dual-layered thermal strategy. Under active conditions, high-powered refrigeration units work continuously to lower the internal temperature to minus 18 degrees Celsius, the international standard for long-term seed preservation. However, engineering always accounts for failure. If the power should fail, or if the active cooling systems break down, the surrounding sandstone mountain is locked in thick permafrost. This natural cold acts as a passive failsafe. The surrounding rock temperature would keep the seeds frozen well below freezing for many decades. This provides a vital buffer against prolonged power outages or structural disruption. Each of the 3 storage halls inside the vault measures approximately 9.5 by 27 meters. Together, they have the capacity to store about 4.5 million seed samples, which translates to roughly 2.5 billion individual seeds. Currently, the vault holds duplicates of more than 1,300,000 seed samples, representing almost every nation on Earth. The collection focuses primarily on food and agricultural species, safeguarding the plants that are essential for human nutrition and global food security. Beyond the physical rock, the vault is protected by a geopolitical architecture that is perhaps even more extraordinary. The sovereignty of Svalbard itself is governed by the Svalbard Treaty of 1920. This historic international agreement granted Norway sovereignty over the archipelago. It also gave citizens of all signatory nations equal rights to commercial activities, while declaring the territory a demilitarized zone. This unique legal status laid the groundwork for the Seed Vault's neutral identity. Under the strict black box legal rules, Svalbard operates as a zone of absolute diplomatic cooperation. In an era of intense global polarization, the Seed Vault stands as one of the few places on Earth where political conflicts are locked outside. Inside the freezing chambers, cardboard storage boxes sit side by side on steel shelves. Here, seeds from North Korea rest alongside seeds from South Korea. Samples from the United States are shelved next to those from nations with which it has no formal diplomatic relations. The shared goal of long-term global food security overrides national rivalries. This unique framework ensures that even if 2 nations are in active conflict, their agricultural heritage is preserved in absolute safety. They rest side by side, focused entirely on the survival of future generations. For nearly a decade after its opening in February 2008, the vault seemed invincible, a perfect testament to human foresight. But in 2017, the natural world issued a stark warning. The Arctic is warming at a rate much faster than the rest of the planet due to a phenomenon known as Arctic amplification. That year, Svalbard experienced record high temperatures coupled with unprecedented heavy rain during the winter season. The results were alarming. The permafrost surrounding the entrance began to melt, and a massive volume of surface water breached the outer entrance tunnel. The water rushed down the concrete passage, creating a terrifying scenario for the facility's managers. Fortunately, the engineering design of the tunnel saved the day. The water flowed down the sloping tunnel and froze into a solid sheet of ice. This happened before it could reach the secure storage chambers, which sit deeper and higher inside the mountain. The seeds themselves were never in danger, but the incident shattered the foundational assumption that the Arctic permafrost was an unchanging, eternal barrier. Recognizing the urgent threat posed by climate change, the Norwegian government took immediate action. Norway funded a comprehensive suite of engineering upgrades, transforming the entrance of the vault into a highly fortified structure. Engineers replaced the original steel and rock entrance with a completely waterproof concrete access tunnel, designed to withstand massive water pressure. They dug trench systems to divert meltwater away from the mountain and improved the internal drainage. They also relocated the massive cooling units to a new service building outside the tunnel. Previously, the refrigeration machinery sat inside the tunnel, generating heat that had to be ventilated. Now, the machinery is entirely isolated from the inner chamber, keeping the temperature stable. This intervention demonstrated a critical shift in how we approach preservation. Passive reliance in the natural environment was no longer enough. The survival of humanity's backup plan now required active, continuous engineering and vigilance in the face of a changing climate. For years, critics of the Seed Vault argued that it was an expensive, symbolic gesture, a doomsday vault that would never actually be used. That perspective changed permanently because of a crisis in the Middle East. Before the Syrian civil war, the International Center for Agricultural Research in the Dry Areas, known as ICARDA, held one of the world's most valuable collections of seeds. Based in Aleppo, Syria, this gene bank preserved crop varieties uniquely adapted to arid regions. It held ancient strains of wheat, barley, and chickpeas that had sustained human life in the Fertile Crescent for millennia. These varieties date back to the very dawn of agriculture, 10,000 years ago. As the conflict intensified, researchers in Aleppo faced immense danger. While they managed to keep their collections safe for a time, physical access to the gene bank eventually became impossible due to the ongoing fighting. The active database was effectively lost, and the global agricultural community faced the terrifying prospect of losing these drought-resistant crop varieties forever. Fortunately, researchers at ICARDA had previously sent duplicate packages of their collection to the Svalbard Global Seed Vault. In 2015, the organization made the historic first-ever withdrawal request from the vault. The caretakers in Svalbard retrieved the specified boxes from the frozen shelves and shipped them back across the world. The seeds were delivered to new research facilities established in Lebanon and Morocco. There, in the soil of North Africa and the Levant, researchers carefully planted the seeds, grew the crops to maturity, and successfully multiplied them. This painstaking process allowed them to recreate the active collections and return the seeds to farmers and researchers worldwide. This historic withdrawal provided the ultimate definitive proof of the vault's utility. It was not a dusty museum or a passive monument to the end of the world. It was a functional, living lifeline, capable of restoring lost agricultural continuity and securing the food supply of millions of people in the wake of human catastrophe. The seeds that once grew in the dry soil of Syria were reborn through the ice of the far north. The success of the Syrian seed rescue proved the concept of the vault, but it also opened up deeper discussions about the future of crop conservation. One of the primary debates revolves around the concept of equity and representation in global agriculture. Currently, the Global Seed Vault is heavily dominated by major staple crops, such as wheat, rice, maize, and barley, which are central to global food industries. However, regional, minor, and indigenous crops are often underrepresented in the storage chambers. Many of these neglected crops hold the key to climate resilience. They contain genetic traits that allow them to thrive in poor soils, withstand extreme heat, or resist specific pests. Ensuring that smaller communities and indigenous groups have the resources to document, package, and back up their unique agricultural heritage remains a critical challenge for global conservation organizations. At the same time, the warming of the Arctic raises fundamental questions about the long-term sustainability of the vault itself. As the planet continues to heat up, we are forced to weigh our reliance on natural Arctic permafrost against the high cost of fully engineered, energy-intensive refrigeration.
If the permafrost continues to degrade, keeping the vault frozen will require ever-increasing amounts of energy. This makes the facility dependent on the very systems contributing to global warming. Additionally, some scientists suggest that physical seed banks will eventually need to integrate with digital genetic sequencing. This means preserving not just the physical germplasm, but the digital blueprints of life. Even with these challenges, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault remains a testament to what humanity can achieve when we look beyond our immediate horizons. It is a monument of hope, buried deep in the ice, proving that we can work together to protect the future of our planet. If this story of the Svalbard Global Seed Vault changed how you look at the future of our food supply, sit with one question. How can we build the same level of global cooperation for our living fields that we have managed to achieve deep inside the silent ice? To explore more deep dive narratives on the science and history shaping our world, follow our library for future releases. Thanks for watching.
To create your own audiobooks from your prompts and documents, visit myaudiobooks.ai. Subscribe for more.